good evening. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it may be for you. I'm Damon, and today we'll be discussing neural implants and brain augmentations in both video games and movies, as well as their real-life equivalents. We'll conclude with how likely we'll see these fictional ideas become our reality. We'll begin with Cyberpunk 2077. In the first episode of Night City Wire, CD Projekt Red showed off a gameplay segment around their brain dance mechanic. In the demo, the protagonist V can vicariously relive the experiences of a stranger, including their thoughts, memories, and physical sensations, by having neural information transmitted directly into their brain. Although not being in control of the events taking place in these recordings, the user feels as if they are the person they are watching. In the lore, this has led to many commercial use cases such as military training, psychological treatment, and adult entertainment. Similarly, it has been teased in other trailers of the game that traversing cyberspace will induce a very similar feeling of immersion in a digital environment. The only difference being that a quote netrunner has a limited control over their environment in cyberspace. Other examples of this concept include The Matrix, the Deus Ex series, Altered Carbon, and many other sci-fi stories. Moving away from fully immersive neurostimulation, it has been shown in some gameplay that there exists a full collection of neural chips. These chips can increase your proficiency in another language, give you a digital Keanu Reeves companion, and everything in between. In our reality, this might feel like an idea deeply set into science fiction. However, we are on the cusp of making this a reality, hopefully with a less dystopian nightmare attached. But don't hold your breath. Just like how we split up the fictional premise into advanced simulations and direct neural stimulation, we must approach the reality of this idea in the same two parts. We'll start with advanced simulations. It's likely that you have either experienced or watched someone play video games or watch videos using a virtual reality headset or riding quote-unquote screen rides. Although they give the sensation of seeing, hearing, and in some cases feeling aspects of the digital environment, they are limited in their immersive peaks due to their physical separation from the brain. This leads to a larger issue, where between 40 and 70% of people feel motion sick when experiencing virtual environments through these means. The reason, according to the accepted theory, is a phenomenon called sensory conflict. Sensory conflict, as currently described in the Dictionary of Psychology, is when passive movement creates a mismatch between information relating to orientation and movement are supplied by the visual and vestibular systems, engendering a nauseating feeling. For virtual reality applications to leap forward, they must tackle the disconnect between what the user is seeing and what they are feeling. One approach, and most likely the best approach, will be the topic of the second half of this discussion. Direct neural stimulation is a broad method of brain hacking where small electrical pulses are sent to localized regions of the brain. This can be done either non-invasively, where the stimulation source is outside the brain cavity and no surgery is required, or invasively, requiring surgery. Of course, the most accessible method, presently, is the non-invasive forms of neural stimulation. Devices capitalizing on non-invasive brain hacking have seen some commercial success, one of these being the Halo Sport, created by Halo Neuroscience. The Halo Sport is a headset that has an array of electrodes lined around the headband of the device. It links up to a mobile device with Bluetooth and sends low voltage pulses directly to the motor cortex of the brain, which assists in creating muscle memory and endurance for athletic and skill-based tasks. Examples of use cases for the Halo Sport headset include football, triathlon training, music learning, and strength building. This technology works by utilizing TDCS, or transcranial direct current stimulation. The electrodes around the headband send electrical signals to the brain, either acting as cathodes or anodes, to either shut off sections of neurons or make them hyperactive, respectively. Mapping out neural responses to training and learning, and then magnifying those responses to these stimulants is how Halo Sport accelerates training in its users. The best part is that they're commercially available for about $400 US. For a more customized brain hacking experience, look towards OpenBCI. OpenBCI is an open source brain-computer interface platform that offers equipment and software to monitor and even augment your neural stimulation experience. The software is open source, and most of the hardware has files available for 3D printing in your own home. The only specialty hardware needed to utilize this technology are the electrodes and a custom circuit board for the electrodes to connect to. An advantage to using this technology is its compatibility with widely used programming languages like Python, Java, and MATLAB. If you're not all that into programming, there are also GUIs available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Both OpenBCI and Halo Neuroscience offer the capability to augment your brain in a wide variety of ways without highly invasive surgery. However, the scope of this method is currently pretty limited to slight improvements and medical advances. For more drastic augmentation, let's look at some options that require some courage and a little sacrifice to feel their limitless effects. If you're not afraid of invasive surgery, or you are afflicted with any one of a variety of possible medical disorders, then a neural implant might be the only solution for you. Deep brain stimulation devices have an immense list of use cases limited only by the size of electronics and the number of functions the human brain contributes to. First, we mentioned in the previous video on this channel the second sight Argus 2, a device that took visual information from a mounted webcam and transmitted it to an array of electrodes implanted outside the retina of the eye. The latest upgrade to this technology is the Second Sight Orion, a device with a similar function and operation, but with a crucial change. Instead of an electrode ray sending pulses to the retina, it transmits that data directly to the visual cortex of the brain. This upgrade not only gives the possibility of sight even to those who have severely damaged optic nerves, but it also opens the door for future use cases, like brain dance in Cyberpunk 2077. Being able to synthesize full images into the brain by bypassing the eye can be a complete leap in AR/VR technology if researched. Another type of neural implant connects the human brain to a mechanical or electronic device. Although for years we've had controllable prosthetics using muscle tension, advancements in neuroscience have allowed companies like BrainGate to make devices that allow patients to control computer functions like typing and using a mouse by utilizing only their thoughts. These implants have helped paraplegics gain a little more independence in their everyday life. Extensions on this idea that have been suggested include remote robot control for surgery robots or military vehicles. It would be irresponsible of me to talk at this length about neural enhancements without mentioning Neuralink. Elon Musk's neuroscience startup presented its plan and projects this time last year, and what was shown was nothing short of breathtaking. Neuralink's N1 chip and implants are designed to incorporate 1,000 electrodes into a single chip, each of which will be able to record and induce action potential, the process required for synapses to fire. The previous state-of-the-art deep brain implant, known as a Utah array, accommodated only 100 electrodes. Another innovation stemming from the work at Neuralink is a new method of implantation. A very precise robot, similar to a standard pick-and-place machine, was designed to implant electrical threads into predetermined locations in the brain without creating large incisions for access. Each thread is implanted into the brain using a 2mm incision in the skin and skull with max dilation of 8mm. This is so minuscule that no stitches would be required post-surgery. Neuralink is planning out a 3-phase release plan after they receive FDA approval, with the first 2 phases focusing on medical applications. The final goal of this product is to create a solution to many disorders affecting cognitive function and eventually enhance the cognitive ability of healthy individuals. Neuralink is planning on an update presentation to premiere on August 28, 2020, so look out for that. So, with all these innovations in the works or commercially available, how close are we to experiencing real-life brain dances and traversing the web in a fully digital environment? The elements are all there and ready to be integrated together. We can control digital objects with our minds, project visual and cognitive information directly to the brain, and full photoreal virtual environments have been created. We've even seen how anyone with some programming prowess can dip their toes into neural stimulation. These elements just need to be researched a little further and integrated together. The largest obstacle holding back this development is its necessity. You may have noticed that almost every device we discussed today had been focused on helping those with medical disorders. This is logical, since helping those with uncontrollable hindrances is a higher priority than developing a form of luxury entertainment. However, as the financial barrier for entering this field gets smaller and smaller, it can be assumed that a daring entrepreneur will take the risk and attempt to revolutionize the entertainment industry with this type of concept. However, due to the current direction of research, I expect this to happen after the end of the 2020s. For now, I look forward to all new innovations to come. To conclude, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more dives into elements of sci-fi media becoming reality, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Next time, we'll ask an important question about psychological impact of human augmentation and delve into the ethics of improving the human potential. I'm Damon, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.